In a world of pop culture, every so often something is released that is divisive. Right or wrong, this is the Devil's Advocate.
Your Honor, this is a very simple case. Velma has a great idea and concept, but clearly falls very, very flat in its execution. Your Honor, I object. Clearly the prosecutor is a dumbass. Alright, then let's just start from the top, shall we? This show is far too different from the original. Let's just look at the core of it. Scooby-Doo has always been what? About a group of friends that love and care for one another. That's always been the very core of all their stories. And at this reboot, this rehash, what do we have? We have Fred, who's a beta male scared of his maturity and his manhood. We have Daphne, who's an outright bitch. We have Shaggy, who's this weird, insecure beta male as well. And we have Velma, this unlikable, smarmy ass. And where is Scoob? Your Honor, I'll counter. Nowadays, people don't want simple character arcs between good versus evil. They want more complicated. It's not so simple anymore. They want new tropes for a new audience with new ideas. They want growth within these characters. They want to see them change from one person to another. Let me give you a few. We have Walter White from Breaking Bad, simple chemistry teacher from high school becoming arguably the world's biggest meth dealer or the world's best meth cooker. We also have Ned from, let's say, Ted Lasso, who at first is I believe, equipment manager, if I'm not mistaken, who starts as an equipment manager, goes up to being the head coach of a completely different team in an evil capacity, slowly turning from the good to the dark. People want complicated characters. Now, Fred, maybe he'll mature into the leader that he's meant to be once he learns to accept himself. Maybe Daphne will learn to be a better friend once she stops being, let's be honest, a bit of a bitch, to be fair. Maybe eventually Shaggy will also gain confidence, or at least grow to be more of his own person, more of his own individual. And maybe Velma will learn how to work and how to grow with a group of people, with a family that she will make of her own. Also, maybe Scoob is going to be the thing that brings them all together. Maybe that's how the first season ends. After all, this is the origin. Doesn't mean they're there yet. We have to get there. I believe the show will end with Mr. Ink forming. That's a bit optimistic, don't you think? Look, sometimes you need to give a show time to find their footing. It's what's needed. They need to find a rhythm. Okay, get to me about the blatant recasting of characters. Look, man, Scooby was made in the 70s, where most characters on television were white, including in cartoons. Nowadays, TV is a lot more diverse, so of course the casting would be diverse. Also, Mindy is known for stating that she really related to Velma growing up as a character, as being the other girl. So I'm not against the idea of them recasting Velma. I mean, how is her being Anglo integral to the character? If it was integral, that'd be a different story, but it's not, so why does it matter? Now look, this show is trying way too hard to blatantly be a ripoff of the Harley Quinn show with its over-the-top comedy. Now that's fine if you can execute it, which this show is not funny fundamentally. Scooby was never meant to be an adult comedy. It was meant to be for kids. At the very least, it should be marketable in that sense, shouldn't it? Where is the charm? Look, I'll give you that. This show is not for kids, but cartoons aren't only for adults anymore. The landscape has changed, and so has this show. I believe the show is trying to speak to teenagers, people in their 20s. They're trying to capture that audience. And I mean, as of the time of this recording, as of the time of this case, it does have major viewership numbers to a point where HBO Max has already renewed it for season 2, and we're only 2 episodes into the first season. What does that tell you about viewership? Even if people hate watching it, they're watching it. Also, the idea and the topics that they're talking about kind of makes sense. Velma having panic attacks, Fred dealing with his insecurities and lack of masculinity, Daphne trying to find her parents. These are all very mature topics that come up. Shaggy maybe having to learn some responsibility. Maybe that's why he gets a dog. You never know. Then again, maybe it is too early to tell, but I think that means we need to give this show room. Give it time. Let's finish out the first season and let's see where it goes from there. Makes sense. And I think we need to give this show time to grow. Let them tell their longer story. Your Honor, let the record show that we need to suspend judgment until the season is over. Wait, record. Is someone supposed to be writing this down? Wait,